sections from 58 to 104 of the Transfer of Property Act, which deals with the mortgage. Mortgage is most important question for sake of exam. Under mortgage, there are many questions. Please take down some important questions under the mortgage. Explain the different kinds of mortgages. Explain the different kinds of mortgages that can be executed under the Transfer of Property Act. That can be executed under the Transfer of Property Act. Take down one more question. Discuss different kinds of mortgages. Discuss different kinds of mortgages. State the difference between mortgage by conditional sale and English mortgage. State the difference between mortgage by conditional sale and English mortgage. Here under TP Act, that is sale, mortgage, lease, gift. These are the important topics under the Transfer of Property Act. I have completed the sale. Now I am going to the mortgage. I am going to explain what is mortgage and who is called as mortgager, mortgagee, what is mortgage money, and what is called mortgage deed. This we have to understand under section 58. Here section 58 defines what is mortgage. Here under section 58 it tells about the definition of mortgage. Here under mortgage there is no transfer of ownership here. Here only there is a transferring of an interest. Transferring of an interest in the immovable property is called as the mortgage. Here transfer of an interest in specific immovable property for the purpose of securing the payment of loan advanced or to be advanced by way of loan is called as mortgage. Here mortgage is transfer of immovable property as a security for the loan amount, for the loan received by the mortgager. This is the meaning, this is the definition of the mortgage which is dealt under section 58. Here under mortgage it's only an immovable property which is dealt, and it is only a transferring of an interest. Transferring of an interest from the mortgager, that is the debtor, to the creditor. It is from the mortgager to the mortgagee. Only transferring of an interest. There is no transferring of an ownership. And the purpose is securing the payment of money. Why the interest over the property has been transferred from the mortgager to mortgagee? Here to receive the loan amount from the mortgagee. Next, we have to know the meanings of the mortgager, mortgagee, what is mortgage money and mortgage deed. This is dealt under section 58. Here, that is first of all, there is a mortgager. The person who transfers the property is called as a mortgager, or is also called as a debtor. You know who is called as debtor? The person who takes the loan from other person is called as a debtor. And here mortgagee, that is a transferee who receives the property. That is called as a mortgagee or transferee. And here under section 58, mortgage or transferee means he is the creditor who lends the money, who gives the money. It's called as a mortgagee or transferee. And what is this mortgage money? Here the mortgage money means principal money and interest of which payment is secured for the time being are called mortgage money. Here sum of money which is taken as a loan under the mortgage is called as the mortgage money. And what is this mortgage deed? Here mortgage deed is called as an instrument. Here I explained you earlier under section 3 of the Transfer of Property Act what is instrument. Instrument means it is a legal document. Any document which is in writing, that document is called as a instrument. It is a legal document. Your instrument by which the transfer is effected is called a mortgage deed. Next, we are going to the part that is the essentials of mortgage. What are the essentials of mortgage? There must be parties, property, price and period. These are the essentials of the mortgage. Here, the parties. Who are the parties? The parties are here the mortgager and the mortgagee are the parties. Here the transferor is called the mortgager and the transferee who receives the property is called as a mortgagee. Next is property. Here the property means it's only an immovable property. There shall be immovable property only. And price. Here the consideration shall be the money in the form of loan. There may be present loan or there may be future loan. It is in the consideration shall be the money in the form of loan. That is called as the price. Next essential of the mortgage is period. Here there may be specified period for the mortgage. It is called as a period. These are the essentials of the mortgage. Parties, property, price, period. There must be two parties, mortgager and mortgagee, and it must be the immovable property, and it is only a transferring of an interest in immovable property. And the price is a consideration shall be the money. And the period is it may be a specified period for the mortgage. So the essentials of the mortgage. Here, as I told you, mortgage means it's transferring of only an interest in an immovable property. Here under mortgage, the loan is secured against some immovable property. When the person he gives the loan to the other person, he needs some security. Here the security is the immovable property for the loan amount of the debtor. Immovable property of the debtor or the mortgager is called the mortgage. And we have to know the distinction between the mortgage and pledge here. Here you know what is mortgage now. But pledge means here it is a loan which is secured. Loan is secured against some movable property. It is called a pledge. Here, when the loan is secured against some immovable property, it is mortgage. But when the loan is secured against any movable property, it is pledge. Here, that is, loan is secured because in default of payment, the creditor can recover his money from the property which has been specified as security. So the loan must be secured. And let us go to the kinds of mortgages. There are totally 6 kinds of mortgages. In your exam, they are going to ask what is mortgage or define mortgage. Explain the different kinds of mortgages. You have to define as the definition is given under section 58. Then you have to explain all the 6 mortgages. There are 6 kinds of mortgages. Here, the first mortgage is a simple mortgage. Itself says it is a simple mortgage which is dealt under section 58 subclause B of the Transfer of Property Act. Here, simple mortgage means under simple mortgage, here there is no delivery of possession of the property from the mortgager to the mortgagee. Under simple mortgage, the simple meaning here is there is no delivery of possession of the immovable property from the mortgager to the mortgagee. Here, that is a mortgager, it is a debtor. He promises to pay the mortgage money which he has received from the mortgagee. That is, without delivering the possession, he promises to pay. That is called simple mortgage. Here, simple mortgage must be effected by the registered document. In simple mortgage, the mortgager retains the possession of the property with himself. In simple mortgage, the possession will be with the mortgager, with the debtor himself. He has not delivered the possession to the mortgagee. Here the mortgager agrees expressly or impliedly that in case of non-payment of loan, the mortgagee, that is in case of non-payment of loan, the mortgagee shall have the right to cause a mortgage property to be sold. This is the express or implied contract in case of non-payment of loan by the mortgager. That is, the mortgagee shall have the right to cause the mortgage property to be sold under the simple mortgage. Here, we shall go to the essentials of the simple mortgage. What are the essentials of the simple mortgage? Under simple mortgage, there are certain essentials. That is, the first essential is the mortgage may be in writing or not. It may be in writing or it may not be in writing. And second essential, mortgager retains the possession of the property with himself. He has not delivered his possession of property to the mortgagee. And the third essential is mortgager personally he promises to pay the loan to the mortgagee. Mortgager personally promises to repay the mortgage money to the mortgagee. And the fourth essential is in case of default, the mortgagee shall have the right to approach the civil court and get an order to sell the property. These are the 4 essentials under simple mortgage. Here under simple mortgage, that is, the mortgager promises to pay the loan amount and he has not delivered his possession to the mortgagee, and the mortgage may be in writing or it may not be in writing. And here mortgager he personally promises to pay the loan amount, and in case of default, the mortgager shall have, that is the mortgagee, it is the creditor, shall have the right to approach the civil court for and get an order to sell the property. So the essentials of the simple mortgage. Next let me explain the second mortgage. That is mortgage by conditional sale. Section 58 subclause C of the Transfer Property Act, which deals with the mortgage by conditional sale. Here mortgage by conditional sale. Here the word says conditional sale. Conditional sale means with the condition. With the condition. Here it is a transaction. Mortgage by conditional sale is a transaction in which the mortgager ostensibly sells the mortgage property on condition. Here the debtor, he ostensibly sells the mortgage property on condition to the mortgagee. Ostensible sale means it looks like a sale, but in reality there is no sale. It is ostensible sale. Here the existence of debt between seller and buyer is necessary under the mortgage by conditional sale. Let us see the essentials under the mortgage by conditional sale. What are the essentials under the mortgage by conditional sale? Here there are three essentials under mortgage by conditional sale. The first essential is there is an ostensible sale of immovable property. Here there is no proper sale, perfect sale. Here there is an ostensible sale of an immovable property. Second one, the sale is subject to the following conditions. The sale is subject to the following conditions. Let us see which are the conditions upon which the sale will be executed. That is, on non-payment of the mortgage money, the sale would become absolute. If the mortgagor does not repay the loan amount to the mortgagee, at that time the sale would become absolute. There is one condition which is put by the mortgagor to the mortgagee. The second condition is on payment of the mortgage money, the sale shall become void. Means when the mortgagor, that is the debtor, he pays the loan amount, pays the mortgage money, the sale shall become void, or the buyer shall retransfer the said property to the seller. Next, one more condition. The condition must be embodied in the same document. These are the essentials under the mortgage by conditional sale. Next is third kind of mortgage is usufructuary mortgage. Usufructuary mortgage is dealt under section 58 subclause D. Here, what is usufructuary mortgage? Usufructuary mortgage, that is, mortgage is usufructuary where the mortgagor gives possession of the property to the mortgagee. It's called as the usufructuary mortgage. Here, the difference between simple mortgage and usufructuary mortgage is, here there is no delivery of possession under simple mortgage. Here, the possession has not been delivered to the mortgagee. But under usufructuary mortgage, there is a delivery of possession to the mortgagee. That's the difference between these two. Here, mortgage is usufructuary where the mortgagor gives possession of the property to the mortgagee and authorizes the mortgagee to retain the possession with him. Retain the possession with him is called as a usufructuary mortgage. Since the possession is with the mortgagee, he gets the usufruct. Here, the mortgagor, he delivers the possession to the mortgagee. So, mortgagee is having the usufruct. Since possession is with the mortgagee, he gets all the usufruct. What is the meaning of usufruct here? That is the profits, rents or benefits of the mortgage property. That is called as the usufruct, which the mortgagee enjoys. Under usufructuary mortgage, the mortgagee is entitled under the mortgage deed to continue the possession of the property until payment of the mortgage money by the mortgagor. Till the mortgagor repays the loan amount to the mortgagee can continue. And the mortgagee is entitled to the mortgage deed to continue the possession of the property. Your enjoyment of property by the mortgagee until his dues are paid by the mortgager. Here the mortgagee under usufructuary mortgage, that is the mortgagee is having the right to use the property, enjoy the property until the debt is fully paid by the mortgager. Is having the right to enjoy, right to use the property, because possession is with the hand of the mortgagee. Here, under usufructuary mortgage, there are certain essentials. Essentials of the usufructuary mortgage are: there is a delivery of possession of the property from the mortgager to the mortgagee. Second essential is right to enjoy the incomes is given to the mortgagee. Right to enjoy the income is given to the mortgagee. And third essential is there is no time limit. The income can be satisfied for the loan amount. And the fourth essential under the usufructuary mortgage is once the loan is cleared, the mortgagee will deliver the possession of the property to the mortgager. These are the essentials under the usufructuary mortgage. There is a delivery of possession from the mortgager to mortgagee, and the right to enjoy the income of the property is with the mortgagee, and here there is no time limit. The income can be satisfied for the loan amount. And once the loan is cleared by the mortgagee, that is the mortgagee has a right to deliver the possession of the property to the mortgager. Next, there is a fourth kind of mortgage. That is the fourth mortgage is English mortgage. English mortgage is dealt under section 58 subclause E of the Transfer of Property Act. Here English mortgage means that is mortgager binds himself to repay the mortgage money on a certain date and transfer absolutely. Is called as a English mortgage. Here, that is the debtor, mortgager, he binds himself to repay the loan amount on a certain date within a prescribed period. It is called as English mortgage. In English mortgage, there is absolute transfer of property to the mortgagee, with a condition that where the debt is paid off on a certain date, mortgagee shall retransfer the property to the mortgager. In English mortgage, there is an absolute transfer of property to mortgagee. This is called English mortgage. And here, under English mortgage, there are certain essentials. That is, there is absolute transfer of property, absolute sale of the property from the mortgager to the mortgagee. Second essential is the mortgager personally binds to repay the mortgage money on a certain date. These are the two essentials of the English mortgage. Next is mortgage by deposit of title deeds. Is dealt under section 58 subclause F. Here mortgage by deposit of title deeds. Here it says that by depositing the title deeds, the property will be mortgaged. Here, what will be delivered here? That is the title deeds will be given to the mortgagee. This mortgage, that is mortgage by deposit of title deeds, is also known as equitable mortgage. Is also known as equitable mortgage. Here, mortgager delivers the original ownership deed to the mortgagee. This is a peculiar kind of mortgage. It is peculiar in the sense that in this mortgage, execution of the mortgage deed by the mortgager is not necessary. Execution of the mortgage deed by the mortgager is not necessary. Mere deposit of title deeds of an immobile property by mortgager to mortgagee is sufficient. And here, under mortgage by deposit of title deeds, there are certain essentials. Here, there is no transfer of possession of the property. Here is only just, here the mortgager is just depositing the title deeds with the mortgagee. Here in this mortgage, there is no transfer of possession of the property to the mortgagee. Next essential is, there is transfer of original title deed to the possession of the mortgagee. Original title deed will be transferred to the possession of the mortgagee. Third essential is, there is personal promise to repay the money on a certain date. The fourth essential, once the repayment is made by the mortgager, the mortgagee will deliver back the original title of the property to the mortgager. These are the essentials under the mortgage by deposit of title deeds. Here there is no, under mortgage by deposit of title deeds, there is no possession of the property. Only the title deeds will be, that is only the transferring of the original title deed to the mortgagee. And here there is no personal promise to pay the money on a certain date. That is, once the payment is made by the mortgager to the mortgagee, it is the duty of the mortgagee to give back the original title deed to the mortgager. These are the essentials of the mortgage by deposit title deeds. Well, next we shall go to the last mortgage, anomalous mortgage. Here, anomalous mortgage is dealt under section 58, subclause G of the TP Act. Here, the meaning of anomalous means combination of two or more forms of specific categories of mortgage is called as the anomalous. Here, inconsistency are called anomalous mortgage. Here, mortgage is anomalous if it is not a simple. Here, anomalous mortgage is a mortgage is anomalous. Anomalous if it is not a simple mortgage, if it is not a mortgage by conditional sale, if it is not a usufructuary mortgage, if it is not an English mortgage, or if it is not a mortgage by deposit of title deeds, then it is an anomalous mortgage. There is an inconsistency in this mortgage. Inconsistency are called anomalous mortgage, and it is a combination of any two or more forms of mortgages. It's called as the anomalous mortgage. Here, let me give you one example. A, that is for the mortgage by deposit of title deeds, that is A has purchased a house. The sale deed is in his favor. Is the title deed establishing the ownership of the A. If A wants to take a loan from B, A may execute either simple mortgage or usufructuary mortgage or any other kind of mortgages. In these kinds of mortgages, execution of mortgage deed and registration may take some time to fulfill the formalities. But in this illustration, in this example, A is in urgent need of the money. It may not possible to get the money immediately under these mortgages. Here, mortgage by deposit of title deeds. Under this mortgage by deposit of title deeds, does not require formalities to be executed or registration is not necessary. Therefore, does not require formalities of execution or registration. Therefore, by depositing the title deeds to the B, A may get the money immediately. Here the main object of the mortgage by deposit of title deeds is that to provide easy mode of taking loan in urgent need. This is the main object of the mortgage by deposit of title deeds. Here it may be made, mortgage by deposit of title deeds can be made without any writing or registration, where the person is urgent need of the money. Here under mortgage, there are certain rights and liabilities of mortgagor, which is dealt under section 60 to 66 of the Transfer of Property Act. Take down the questions. Once a mortgage is always a mortgage. Explain. Next question. Write a note on right of redemption. Right of redemption. Okay. Here, section 60 to 66, which deals with the rights and liabilities of the mortgagor. Here, section 60, which deals with the right of redemption or right of mortgagor to redeem. Your right of redemption is with the mortgagor. It is the right which the mortgagor is having. And here, first of all, we have to know the meaning of what is redemption here. Redemption means right to take back the possession of the property from the mortgagee. That is the right to take back the possession of the mortgage property or the documents of the property. It's called as the redemption. And put an end to the transaction of mortgage. By taking back the possession of the mortgagee as well as the documents of the property, that is the transaction which comes to an end. Or transaction to the mortgage will come to end. This is the meaning of redemption. And next is when to exercise the right of redemption. Right of redemption is with the mortgagor who can exercise. That is the right of redemption. That is the right to take back the possession or right to take back the documents of the property. But here, when he can exercise, it is a mortgagor, when he can exercise the right of redemption, he can exercise here, that is when the principal money has become due and the mortgage money is paid. Principal amount is become due, but the mortgage money is paid or tendered at the right place and right time. It can be exercised. It is right of redemption can be exercised. Next is notice to redeem must be given by the mortgagor to the mortgagee. It must be, that is a notice to the mortgagee, that is notice to redeem must be given to the mortgagee, and this notice to redeem must be in writing with all details of the mortgage. These are the two cases where the right can be exercised. Right of redemption can be exercised by the mortgagor. He has to give the notice in writing to the mortgagee as well as it must be, that is when the principal money has become due and mortgage money is paid or tendered at the right place and right time, it can be, right of redemption can be exercised. But the right of redemption is not available to the mortgagor in a certain case. Let us see. Here, if the right is extinguished by the act of parties, or if the right is extinguished by the act of law, that is by act, if the right is extinguished by the act of parties or by the act of, by the court, that is right of redemption is not available to the mortgagor. the mortgagee. Under section 60 it tells about the clause on redemption also. That is, clause on redemption is dealt under section 60 of the Transfer of Property Act. Here clause on redemption means that is the mortgager is in an inferior position, and the mortgagee, when compared to the mortgager is in an inferior position. The mortgager needs the loan. He can request the mortgagee for the loan, and the mortgagee in the dominant position of dominance may impose certain conditions or restrictions which destroys the right of redemption of the mortgager. This is called clause on redemption. That is, who is called here? That is, the mortgagee imposes the conditions or restrictions on the mortgager which destroys the right of the redemption of the mortgager. Here, that is right of redemption, our right to take back the mortgaged property is with the debtor from the creditor, from the mortgagee. And this right of redemption can be taken by the mortgagee. That is, which destroys the right of redemption of the mortgager is called as clause on redemption. Here, let us see the cases. Noakes and Company versus Rice. That is in the year 1902. Noakes and Company versus Rice. Here, there is a principle called once a mortgage is always a mortgage. You all know this principle. Once a mortgage is always a mortgage only. That means the mortgage is a transferring of interest in an immovable property as a security for the loan amount which has been taken by the mortgager, received by the mortgager. Here, mortgager has right to take back the property and the document from the mortgagee. This is the right to redeem which the mortgager is having over his mortgaged property. Here, right to redeem, that is right to take back the mortgaged property is with the mortgager. He can take back the possession as well as he can take back the property of the mortgaged property as well as the document from the possession of the mortgagee. After the expiry of the mortgage period and by paying back all the mortgaged money, this right shall not be destroyed by the mortgagee. Here, the mortgager, that is the debtor, he repays all the loan amount, all the mortgaged money. He repays back the mortgaged money. After that, what the mortgager is having the right here? The mortgager is having the right to take back the property as well as the documents from the possession of the mortgagee. This right shall not be destroyed by the mortgagee. In this case, Noakes and Company case, in this case that is Rice. Noakes and Company versus Rice. In this case, Rice, a licensed dealer. Rice is a licensed dealer. Mortgaged his premises to Noakes and Company. Rice is a licensed dealer. He mortgaged his property. He mortgaged his premises to the Noakes and Company. There was a clause or condition in the mortgage that Rice should sell only the products of the Noakes Company. Should sell only the products of the Noakes Company and never to sell any other products, other company products. If Rice defaults, then the premises shall belong to the Noakes and Company absolutely. Here, in this case, House of Lords held that it is a clause on redemption. Means it is a condition on the redemption of the mortgagor. Next case, Sharkan versus Swami Dayal. Sharkan versus Swami Dayal. In this case, the mortgage deed provided that the mortgager was to redeem at the end of 5 years. In this Sharkan versus Swami Dayal case, the mortgage deed, it put the condition was the mortgager was to redeem at the end of the 5 years. The mortgager is having the right to take back only at the end of the 5 years. And that if we did not do so, in the end of 5 years, if we did not do so, the mortgagee have the option of taking the possession for the next 12 years. If we did not do so in the end of the 5 years, the mortgagee have the option of taking the possession for the next 12 years. And mortgager shall not redeem in that 12 years. The mortgage is not having the right to take back in that period of 12 years. In this case, the court held that right to redeem is available to mortgager at the expiration of 5 years. So the condition is a clause on redemption. After the mortgaged property is after 5 years, that is the mortgager is having the right to redeem. But here after that deed also, it is a mortgagee, he puts the conditions that mortgagor should not take back for 12 years. This is, here in this case, the court held that the condition which is put by the mortgagee to the mortgager is a clause, is a restriction, condition on redemption, which destroys the right of redemption of the mortgager. It's been held under this case. It's a clause on redemption. And next case, Murari Lal versus Devi Karan. Murari Lal versus Devi Karan. That is AIR 1965. Murari Lal versus Devi Karan. AIR 1965. Supreme Court 225. In this case, that is the mortgage deed provided that amount due must be paid within 15 years. Within 50 years, that is the mortgage has to pay back the amount. Till then, the right to redeem would continue. If repayment is not made as agreed, the mortgagee would automatically become the owner thereof. Here, that is the amount, that is the mortgage deed. It puts the condition is that on the mortgage deed is that due, whatever the due is there, it must be paid within 15 years. Till then, the right to redeem would continue. If repayment is not made as agreed, if the mortgagor does not repay the amount as agreed, the mortgagee would automatically become the owner thereof. Here the question was whether this condition was a clause on the right to redeem. It's a question under this case. Here High Court of Rajasthan held it is a clause. And Supreme Court also upheld the High Court's decision. The Murari Lal versus Devi Karan case. It is held that it is a clause and Supreme Court also upheld. Next case, Gangadhar versus Shankar Lal. That is 1985, Supreme Court 770. In Gangadhar Lal versus Shankar Lal case, here in this case, the condition was mentioned. A condition was mentioned in the mortgage as I and my heirs will not be entitled to redeem the property for 85 years. Here in this case, the condition was mentioned by the mortgagor that I and my heirs will not be entitled to redeem the property for 85 years. After 85 years, we shall redeem it within 6 months. Till 85 years, we are not taking back the property, mortgage property. But after 85 years, within 6 months, we shall redeem. Here, in case of default, I and my heirs shall have no claim over the mortgaged property. This is the condition is put by the mortgager. The mortgage deed shall be the sale deed. There is no need to execute the fresh sale deed. This was mentioned in the mortgage deed. The condition. The mortgage was entered in 1899. The successors brought a suit for redemption in 1946. In this case, the court held that right of redemption can be excised only after the expiration of the mortgage period and not before it. Here the right of redemption, it can be excised by the mortgager or by successors, but it must be excised only after the expiration of the mortgage period. What is the mortgage period here? It was 85 years. And after the expiry of the 85 years, within 6 months, it has to be, that is the right to redeem, must be made by the mortgager or the successors. Here, after the expiration of mortgage period and not before it. It cannot be done. Next is section 61 of the Transfer of Property Act, which deals with the right to redeem separately or simultaneously. That is, you know what is right to redeem now. Right to redeem is taking back the mortgaged property by the mortgager with the mortgagee. It's called as a right to redeem. Here, right to redeem, it can be done separately or it can be done simultaneously. Under section 61, this is a right which the mortgager is having. Here, a mortgager who has executed 2 or more mortgages in favor of the same mortgagee shall, in the absence of the contract to the contrary, when the principal money of any 2 or more of the mortgages has become due, the mortgager is entitled to redeem any one such mortgage separately or any 2 or more of such mortgages together. This is the right to redeem separately or simultaneously, which is dealt under section 61. Next is section 63. Section 63 of the Transfer Property Act, which deals with the accession to mortgaged property. This is an important question which they may ask in your exam for short notes. Accession to mortgaged property. Here, accession to mortgage property, here you have to know what is the meaning of accession. Here, the meaning of accession means accretion or addition of land. Accretion of land or addition of land to the existing mortgaged land is called as a accession. And here there are 2 kinds of accession. That is, one is natural accession and acquired accession. Let us see what is natural and what is acquired accession. The first accession, natural accession, means the announcement of land. The announcement of land takes place by the act of nature. Yeah. Your natural accession, the announcement of the land or addition of the land takes place by the act of nature, is called as a natural accession. Here let me give you the example here for natural accession. Here A, consider that here A is the owner of the land. A is the owner of the land adjacent to a river. Mortgages that land to B for 99 years. The soil particles in the water flow, deposits with the existing land, which gradually forms a new land. This is called accretion or natural accession. The newly formed land can be enjoyed by the mortgagee until the completion of the mortgage period. Later, the mortgagor will get that property in addition to the mortgaged property. This is called as the natural accession. That is the announcement of land with the adjacent land. Naturally is called as the natural accession. Next, second accession is the acquired accession. Acquired accession means, let us understand the acquired accession through an example. I'll give you the example. You can easily understand what is acquired accession here. Here in this example, A is the owner of the land. Mortgages that land to B for a period of 20 years. A mortgages is land to the mortgagee for a period of 20 years. B has taken the possession and started using it. After few years, the government has given adjacent government land freely to the mortgagee for growing the trees. So, in this example, there is enhancement of the mortgaged land. Such addition of land to the existing mortgage land is called acquired accession. And this land will be enjoyed by the mortgagee until the completion of the mortgage period, and after mortgage period expires, it will be passed on to the mortgagee with the mortgaged land. This is called acquired accession.